What is up, everyone? Harrison here, back for another K1 Speed Challenge GP race. This time it is the month of June, and we are back in Wilmington, Mass, hoping to improve our championship hopes with some good results. Special feature this time around is that I have my good friend Alan Cavanero and Braden out here to join me in this race. Give me a little bit of support and also make sure they get some good results as well. So we're going to be hoping to have some fun all together and put in some good lap times and see what we can do in the races. In addition to that, as always, here with Luke, Kevin, Cole, Jack, everyone else, racing against Gabe, Jeff, Eli, most of the normal gang is all here, so we're all just, of course, looking to go out and have some fun, but at the same time also trying to get competitive and make sure we can all finish as high as possible in this race. Anyways, we're out here for our Q1 session, hoping to just put a good banker in, put a good time, and see what we can do. Important to note, the track was a lot quicker this week because of the temperature. As the track gets warmer and as we get into July and August, the times will continue to tumble and go down because the tires react much better in the warmer weather. So with that in mind, we're going to try to go out and set maybe our best time of the year, as the track should be suitable to set those type of times. Anyways, we are setting up for our first lap here. Right off the bat, this kart felt absolutely amazing. And as you'll see through the session, we're able to string together some really good lap times and some really good series of corners, because this kart was it was a joy to drive, I'll be honest. It turned well, it was very quick in a straight line, had great acceleration. One of the best karts I've driven in a while. Another important thing to note is that, unfortunately, there was some timing glitches and computer errors in this race, so I'm not actually quite sure what lap time I set my best time on. So for this week, we just have to look at the onboard and just look at a few laps, kind of get a sense of how I was doing. It's okay though. Unfortunately, only my first 7 laps of this session were counted, despite us running about 15 laps, which is just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. It is what it is. It was really annoying because I know I set some really good lap times, which you're seeing right now when they weren't actually being counted. But nevertheless, sometimes that's what happens, and you just gotta go as fast as you can and hope that it works out for you. But coming up here, we're approaching a back marker, hoping to find so we can set some good lap times. For some reason, he decides to, fight me or just not move out of the way. It was quite weird, considering that it's hurting both of our sections. It's not just mine to have him get in my way. But anyways, we're past him, and now we're just looking to, hit every corner, drive as quick as we can, drive smooth and consistently so that we have the most likely chance of setting a good lap time. Kind of been our strategy throughout the season, and see what we can do. So going on to our lap here, you can see we almost nailed the first 2 corners, but instead I decide to absolutely slap the hell out of that inside wall, which pretty much ruins the lap and loses a lot of time. Anyways, though, you can see our line is definitely consistent and clean. Looking at these laps here, I'm not missing apexes by much, if I miss them at all. And I'm putting myself in a place where I am hitting the corners with consistency and precision. Right there, turns 1, 2, and 3 were beautiful. This hairpin, though, I do miss the apex a little bit and turn in a little late, I think. Just scrubbing some speed, and then I clipped the inside wall there, which forced me out wide and lost time. But the final corner was good, and that lap was a decent lap for sure. Going to this lap, again, nailed turns 1, 2, and 3. Perfect corners. Could have done them better if I tried. I'm going to the hairpin, nailed that as well. Don't think I could have done that better. And going through these 2 corners, again, nailing our braking points, nailing our turning points, everything was great. Another thing, too, which you'll see is that I was experimenting with a different line for Sector 2, or at least I call Sector 2. As we approach the corner, I'll show you, but right after the hairpin, we had the double left-hander, and I was taking this a lot tighter than I used to. I used to kind of take the first kink kind of wide so I could cut in and carry more speed for the second. But I think I was losing time just by keeping my minimum speed down by doing that and by not taking the shortest route. And I think that tighter line, which I used in this qualifying session and in the race, definitely helped me.
All right. I was pretty slow. Harrison,
Currently
you were
sitting P2 for the final.
Yeah, I mean, on your session, you were doing much better.
I'm 1,000 slower than P1.
Yeah.
21.174 to 21.173.
So honestly,
you'll have to see it.
Yeah. So my cart
we were up,
was,
like,
it felt
8 at one
good,
point,
but
so I don't know what
it was
happened.
not good at all.
Well, now we're up 6.
It's all right, Alan. You know, you'll get more
They're
comfortable
like
with it. He had a
6
bad
minutes
cart.
in.
You know, his cart was slow, and that could happen to you sometimes.
GP2 engine.
All he
It's the
did,
finals.
he T-boned Luke. So that's all
Yeah,
that
I
matters.
think that's what it was.
Great interview by Alan there. As you can see, now he's filming us going out for the final. Again, Q2, I only showed Q1 there because Q2, first of all, my camera fell off my helmet, which was funny. But because of that, we didn't get any really good footage. And second of all, I didn't improve on my lap time anyways. My cart was a little underpowered and just wasn't up to par with this cart, so, or with the cart I had in the first session. So unfortunately, no qualifying 2 action, but anyways, after a long delay because of technology issues and a bunch of other things, we're finally able to get underway for the final. So, as I said in the interview, we're starting P2, literally 1/1000th behind Gabe in P1, which is quite annoying, not gonna lie. But, you know, it is what it is sometimes. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes I could get, next time we come out, I could be on the good side. So, it's what it is, not much we can do. But yeah, very annoying, but, sometimes it happens to go your way, sometimes it doesn't. Anyways, waiting here for Patty to wave the flag and get us going, and we're hoping to hold our position, maybe make a move into turn 1 and see what can happen. So right at the start, I absolutely jumped the start. Completely my fault, but I went when he said 1, and definitely went too early. Because of it, I made sure not to overtake Gabe and made sure to slot in P2 because I definitely would have gotten in trouble if I'd overtaken him off that start. But, worked out, is what it is. There's no real penalty for jumping the start so long as you don't gain from it. After we had that slowdown, you can see here, this is actually the restart afterwards. I started, and you're about to see the onboard in a second, but I started off very close to Gabe. However, I noticed pretty immediately, which was seen on the onboard, and you can see here I missed the apex. The cart really couldn't turn to the left, and I don't know why, but I think it was a suspension thing. I was really poor in the fast left-handers and strong in the fast right-handers, or not even the fast right-handers, but the right-handers in general. So through here you'll see I'm fine on the hairpin. It feels fine, but through these corners I just get so much understeer as I turn left, and you can really see in the final corner, the normal line is to start out wide and cut in, but the cart just wouldn't turn. And I would have to scrub off more and more speed to take that line, and Gabe would just gap me. Through turn 2 right there, it wasn't that bad. That long right, or the kind of hairpin-ish left-hander wasn't that bad, and I was able to manage it. But here, I just had to let off so much going through the left-hander because the cart just wouldn't turn. And even through here, again, I'm missing the apex, so I'm still not used to how awful the turning was as I turned to the left in this cart. So that's the thing we have to deal with as we try to get around Gabe, and unfortunately another thing that's going to hinder us, but it doesn't matter. I don't have time to complain. I just have to put my head down and see if I can do my best. And I can tell off the bat that I am able to keep up with him, and if anything, I am able to gain on him in certain parts of the track. He was definitely a lot faster in the final corner, but I was a lot faster in turn 2 and in the hairpin, I think, than the rest of the lap. So an important thing to note about this race is that Gabe and I don't know if anyone remembers, but back in my first video of the season, we actually fought with each other for the race win. And in that race, I was able to pass Gabe going into the Sector 2 hairpin. However, as you'll see throughout this race, Gabe 100% learned from that experience and was, he was covering off the lines very well. He was putting the cart exactly where it needed to be. You'll see, every time he takes this corner, he chose to defend the inside. And if you defend the inside on this track, there really isn't much you can do besides pushing someone out of the way to get in front. And considering the stewarding last month and this month is a lot more strict in terms of how much bumping you can do, it was very hard for me to find an opportunity, as you'll come to see. But nevertheless, we're still going to try our hardest to get around Gabe, do everything we can, considering he is our main championship rival here. He's actually the points leader going into this race, and obviously is a points leader as he's running P1 at the moment. So we have to do as much as we can to get in front of him to make sure he doesn't keep pulling a gap on us in this championship. More understeer through that corner, through the final corner. Again, he had more speed because his cart was turning and mine wasn't. However, I knew I had an opportunity because I was a lot quicker through this corner. As you can see, I was always end up right in this bumper going into this hairpin, which is by far the best overtaking zone on the track. So we're going to do our best to stick with him and hopefully get to a point where we're right on his nose and we can maybe send it up the inside going to one of these laps. And again, I didn't even think about making a move to the final corner because I knew my car couldn't do it. Here we are, we're setting up the move. He runs wide and we get very close, but what's really annoying is that if the car in front goes too slow into that corner, it's very easy to bump him on the rear and actually give him a boost. And if you bump him in the rear and you're not right up on their bumper going into the hairpin, an overtaking opportunity is pretty much impossible. So you have to time it right to make sure you have the momentum going, but you're also not too close. You can see here I'm as close as I've been all race, and I peek it up the inside, see that I am really too far back to make a move, and honestly my idea there while overtaking would have been nice was just to scare him a little bit, get him thinking on his toes, maybe force him into a mistake, showing him that I'm there and that I'm ready to pounce and that I'm going to take risks to get around him. But as you can see here, I'm right on this bumper, and this is going to be my best overtaking opportunity to race, and I try my hardest to send it up the inside, but, looking back, he just defended it well. He didn't throw his car to the inside and defend crazily, but at the same time, he was just far enough over to where I really didn't have any space, and I wasn't able to really make a dive bomb, so credit to Gabe, because it was just very good defending, and nothing I could really do. From this point on, my goal was to, just regroup, try to catch up back to him again, and then maybe make a move into the final lap or two. However, it was at this point where, unfortunately, my car started to die. These last few laps, it's hard to see, but I'll let you know. I was completely flat throughout the entire track, which should not be the case if your car has full power. And it was and I realized that I couldn't keep up with him through these corners. And that's when I knew that my cart was dead. And you can see I waved my hand because I know exactly what's going on at this point. I was sticking with him the whole race, and all of a sudden I started dropping off because of my cart, which is really annoying. And it's happened to me a lot in the past few races. And part of it has to do with the fact that these carts are very old and they're getting new carts soon. But unfortunately, for the time being, we just have to live with the situation and hope that for the next few races we can get lucky instead of unlucky with cart power. Nevertheless, nothing we can really do. We have no real tools left to fight Gabe, so we're just going to try our hardest to bring home P2. Unfortunately for Jeff, who was in P3 behind us, he had a really terrible cart, so we didn't really have any pressure behind us. We could just focus on bringing the cart home. We crossed the line there, finished the race. Go congratulate Gabe because he drove a great race, and you'll hear, not really much I could do. He really, credit to you, Gabe. Drove an amazing race. Defending was sublime, and not really much else I can do about it.
My car started to die, but yeah, the car just kind of started dying, but I couldn't have done anything anyways because your car.
Yeah. What was it, P2?
Last 4 laps, the cart was dead. I was flat the entire time.
All right, Harrison Seeley, finishing P2. Give us a race rundown. All right, Harrison Seeley, finishing P2. What you have to say for that?
Pretty happy. Down 9, Sam. Pretty happy. Win was on the cards, but unfortunately the cart died. With 4 laps left, I couldn't have another move on him, but Gabe drove a very great race. There's nothing I could have done. He was defending great into both overtaking zones, so
Yeah. How do you think this helps? How do you think this helps your championship hopes?
not good considering he's in front of me and he just continuing to increase his gap. But
Yeah.
One last question.
We have 6 more races left, so
One last question. Why didn't you just go faster?
because I just not built like that.
Harrison Seeley, P2 today.
Great insight from Braden there at the end. But anyways, P2 result. You can see me coming up to get my little trophy and stand on the podium. Overall, solid race. Really not much else I could do. And I felt like I drove the best race I could have today. Didn't really make any mistakes, and just kind of, only reason I didn't get the win was because of some great driving by Gabe and some unlucky carts. But anyways, had a fun time. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to posting next month for the July round.